So, hi Kristen, thanks for being the interview on a1qa blog. Tell us a few words about yourself.
Hi, yes, thanks for having me on this interview. So, I've always been interested in technology and science. So, I actually have a background in physics. I did a PhD in physics at Stockholm University, and after that, I started working as a software developer. When you have a background in experimental physics, it's hard to know how to apply those skills in industry. But I realized that I knew how to program, so it felt like a natural path to start working as a developer. But about a year and a half into my career, I was asked to test on a project. And that's when I realized that I'd actually found my true vocation. To me, software development isn't actually as interesting and challenging as testing is. So I feel that software testing is actually a much better fit for my skill set, given my background in science. And I really see software testing as problem solving and detective work. And it has really strong parallels to science. So I believe that testers can and should apply the scientific method to their own work. So in 2011, so about 3.5 years ago by now, I moved to Vancouver and joined the testing services company Professional Quality Assurance, or PQA. And in my current role as the chief scientist, I drive PQA's research and method development work, and I try to use my scientific background and my pedagogic abilities to continue developing both my own skills and the skills of my team members.
So, assuming that you've tried everything, so actually, before you started your testing career, you was a scientist, right? Do you apply any scientific methods to software testing?
I definitely do. So the scientific method is based on observation and experimentation. And to me, that's exactly what testing is about as well. Because we set up tests that are very much like experiments, and then we run the tests and observe what happens, just like scientists run their experiments and collect data. And measuring the results and analyzing these data to figure out what's happening is what we do as testers, just like the scientists try to understand how the world works. So science is basically a kind of testing, or testing is a kind of research. It's important, though, to remember that the scientific method that I keep mentioning, it's not really one set of methods, but it's a larger set of guiding principles. So when you talk about the scientific method, you're not saying that there is one way to do science any more than there is one way to test. The scientific method is really about knowledge. It's about scientists trying to understand how the world around them works, just like software testers try to understand how the software they're testing is behaving. So those two missions, the mission of the scientist and the mission of the tester, have a lot in common. And science is also credible, it's curiosity driven, it's empirical, it's impartial and dynamic. And science continuously challenges and questions methods and techniques and its own core beliefs. And that's something that I think testing should do as well.
So, you're a big fan of exploratory testing. What makes it so special for you?
I think this is again where my background in science and research plays in. I think that critical thinking is always important, but it's absolutely essential in science and in testing. And critical thinking is about questioning answers rather than answering questions. So I would claim that exploratory testing really encourages critical thinking and helps us hone those skills. Exploratory testing also provides the flexibility and speed that's becoming more and more important with the quick pace of today's fast software development iterations. And last but not least, it's intellectually much more stimulating and fun.
Kristen, can actually playing games improve testing skills?
So it seems to be a dominating perception in the testing community that testers in general enjoy playing games more than the general population, and that playing games makes you a better tester by honing specific cognitive skills that we think are important in our field. And I looked at several different scientific studies that explore if there is a relationship between playing games and sort of making us smarter or boosting our brains. And there's certainly scientific support for the idea that playing games can improve some skills, like procedural skills, debugging skills, or reasoning skills. But there seems to be very little, if any, transfer of these skills out of context. So it only applies really to the context in which you acquire the skill. If you play a specific game, you get better at that particular game. But what you learned doesn't really apply outside of the context of the game itself. So based on the information I gathered, I would not claim that playing games improve cognitive skills per se. But regardless of whether playing games can actually improve cognitive skills or not, I still think playing games can make us better testers. First of all, it's fun. So I definitely think we should continue playing games. And it can provide a stress relief and an opportunity to defocus, which I think is also important to testers. Additionally, I think games can be used to provide a safe environment in which people can sort of experiment and learn the value of being skeptical and questioning. Play really promotes creativity and innovation, and it helps us think outside of the box. And by playing, we can learn to explore new approaches and question old habits in a safe way where we don't feel that the stakes are very high. So I do believe that play is a safe way to try new things, and it helps us see problems in a new way so we can look at things from a different perspective. And then we can take what we learned by playing and actually apply it in our testing.
You say you started noticing stagnation in software testing. How does it show itself?
So I was trained as a scientist to be skeptical and inquisitive and open for new ideas. And I love testing, and I wouldn't want to work with anything else. But to me, it feels a little bit like maybe we're getting stagnant. I don't hear about any new ideas, any new trends. I don't read about any new approaches or testing. I'm looking for something new that I can try and apply in my work. So we live in this amazing world where Moore's law basically states an incredible development of hardware capabilities, and where the software also keeps getting more and more complex. And the tools and methods that I use for development are continuously evolving. So it feels like the software development process is just getting more and more advanced, but I don't really see testing keeping up with that. I don't believe that our testing approaches are evolving as quickly as new technologies, or as quickly as I would like them to. So maybe testing is being left behind, using the same methods and techniques as we did a decade ago. So what I'm looking for right now is more test innovation and new ideas that can help evolve our profession and move us forwards as testers.
Christin, thanks a lot for sharing your thoughts and ideas. That was so nice to talk to you, and we hope to do it again.
Thank you.